Good morning. Welcome. It's good to have you with us today. We're going to start off with a very familiar song that you're welcome to sing along. My voice ain't 100%, so go ahead and drown me out. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamed I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken, and I held my head and cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine away.
And there you have that.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Steve Ellis, thank you for being the musical wonder this morning.
You're welcome. My
Thanks.
pleasure.
Thanks always. Good morning and welcome to Unity Skagit Valley. We welcome you in the warm and loving spirit of unity, and more than that, we greet you in that universal embrace of consciousness in which we say we are one. Brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, children, four-legged, two-legged, crawling, whatever it is that inhabits this place we call home is a part of us. We are one with the nature. We are one with the life forms. We are one with the seas, and we are one with the mountains, and one with all that inhabits this holy home, our sacred home. As we greet you, we say we embrace you in that warm and loving unity hug. And more than that, we say there is but one presence and one power active in you today, yesterday, always. One presence, one power. For all the ideas we live with, for all the thought forms we create, for all the confusions that we stir, for all the sense of separation or that sense of great or somehow unmeetable obstacle or the obstacles along the way. It's easy for us to move into a belief structure that says that thing about one presence and one power, that's a lot of hokey. But the reality is it's the one truth. And unity is founded upon that truth. It is our living reality. And as we move nearer and nearer the realization of that in all its fullness, we come to see that we're safe, that indeed we're home, that indeed we're somehow empowered and instructed, guided, enfolded, empowered. But more than just empowered, we are powerful beings filled with and overflowing with the extraordinary spirit that is present here, there, and everywhere. And so today we offer blessings to all people, to all forms of life, to our great planet. We offer blessings. We reach inside and we offer blessings and our prayers for the upliftment, for the transformation, for the well-being of all, for the healing of that which seems divided. We pray holding the highest and the best for all who seem to be facing darkness and challenge in some way. we hold the highest and best for all those who are on this day reaching for the greater light, and for all those who are not. Loving Spirit, we are blessed. You are the constancy of our blessing, and so it is. We have the great honor and privilege today to have our friend Richard Treston with us to share the daily word. This is such a great blessing. I have it right here for you.
Thank you.
Look at you, be all strong. I love it so
Good morning.
much.
Today's daily word is forgiveness. And I personally don't think there's any power that can elevate your spirit and your soul as forgiveness. I begin my journey of forgiveness. Unforgiveness is a heavy bag of rocks I carry on my shoulders.
Yeah.
When I drop the bag and begin to set the rocks aside one by one, I embark upon a healing journey. God is with and within me on this journey as my constant support and strength. When forgiveness feels difficult, I need only return my attention to Spirit's constant loving and accepting presence within me. Reestablishing my conscious connection brings warm and welcoming acceptance. It is an important step in the unburdening process of forgiveness. I forgive others as well as myself. Knowing each act of forgiveness increases my freedom to find a happy and fulfilling life. And from Colossians 3:13, bear with one another, and if anyone has a complaint against another, forgive each other, just as the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must forgive.
You are our miracle, sir.
Moi?
Yeah. We honor you. Thank you so much. We love you. Ah, he's proof. He's living proof that there are times when it gets really hard, and we can come back from those times healthy and whole and strong. I don't know if we have any announcements. I would be the last to know. You are here, I am here, we are here, he is here, they're here. That's as much an announcement as I have, yes.
Next week is our first monthly potluck after church.
Ah,
It's the last Sunday of the month.
last Sunday of the month, potluck next week. Bring something yummy to share and come and join in the feast. Lovely. Thank you, Gail. And we're still looking, I think, for a lead for the greeter team. Chris has been doing it for 6 months or more, and she is joyfully surrendering the opportunity to someone else. And if you remember your first time at Unity, when you walked in the door into an unknown experience, the person at the door is the one who created that feeling of, come on in, we're so glad you're here. And that person is actually on a Sunday morning the key to the opening of our entire experience. We don't realize it, but that one standing at the door is the one who really says, welcome home. And Chris has been doing that for us. And now we're willing to move on to a team of people with a leader who's willing to say on Sunday mornings, I'm so glad you're here. Are you new here? Have you been to Unity before? Here's a daily word, here's the bulletin, how can we support you, what do you need this morning? Those kinds of questions, the ones that allow someone to feel like they're seen and known. So we want, I was going to say another one of these, but I'm going to say we want someone who's ready to step into shoes that have been filled by many over the years that I've been here, and it's time to fill those shoes and step forward. So Chris will teach you everything you need to know, but she won't know you need it until you step forward. So doesn't have to be one person every Sunday morning, but it is one of the key jobs in our ministry. So please step forward. If you want me to do it, I could do that, but I can't do this at the same time. I'm happy to be your welcome person. I love that job. Makes me so happy to be that person at the door, but I can't do that and this. So if you want to be part of the team, I need you, and we need you, and you will receive great blessings for stepping forward. So thank you in advance. If you're online, you can do that. You just have to be here. You can't be in California or somewhere far, far away. But you could come here once a month and we'd be happy to see you. Mwah. Love to all of you who are online. Thank you for joining us. I don't know when you'll watch this or if you'll watch it, but we see you on Sunday mornings and we know that we are connected. You can watch on YouTube, you can watch on Facebook, and we offer that so that you have an alternative to being here on a Sunday morning. But we'd love to see you here in the sanctuary if we haven't seen you for a long time, and we're thrilled to see you each Sunday morning. We offer prayer. It's one of the great services of our ministry is to offer prayer, all kinds of prayer. If you lost your keys or your anything, we're here to pray with you. You need to submit a request, however, a prayer request. I'm not seeing any on the desk, the credenza this morning, but they may be there after the service. Heather will be sure that there are prayer requests for you so that you can fill them out, put them in the prayer box. Anything great or small, or for yourself or anyone else, please let us pray with you, or you can go to unitysv.org, info@unitysv.org, and a new noise. Oh, the coffee is finished. Well, get on down here. The coffee's, yeah. There you go. I didn't know it made noise either. Well, there you have it. We learn something new every day. info@unitysv.org. If you have questions, if you'd like to be included in our email list so you know what's going on, if there are other ways that you would like information of any kind, just send your request to info@unitysv.org and we will respond. I think that's everything I have for you that I know about. Thank you for your loving support of the Myrtle Fillmore Award fundraising project. We've purchased plane tickets, and Unity has made the hotel reservation and paid for my part of the conference expense, and bless them for that. And the date of the award is the 14th of June, and so we've got the 13th for all kinds of gatherings and hellos and all that other stuff, and then the award ceremony is the afternoon of the 14th. And then conference goes on the rest of the week with educational opportunities and classes and banquets and all sorts of stuff. The kind of stuff I don't normally do, but there you go. Huh? They're recording everything, but I think in order to have the recording, we have to pay for it. But I'm going to beg for it because I'm that kind of person. And so, yeah, and I'm gonna, I will know that they generously want to share that with me and with all of you. So that. So I spent 9 days watching the water come and recede. Some days there were big waves and it was rough. Some days it was absolutely placid and I just couldn't get enough of that stillness I was seeking, that need for deep stillness. I don't think we realized during shutdown and the pandemic that we may not have been able to go anywhere or do anything, but somehow we were still in a stream of consciousness that was almost pushing against the stillness. And that by the time we opened doors and windows again and began to feel our freedom, we were very fatigued, and we said, I've not been to work in this long, or we've not done that for this long, or I've not, we even picked up groceries. And yet, at the end of it all, or during the process, there was this sense of collective fatigue, as though what we would call stillness wasn't really stillness. There was this something stirring in us pretty much all the time. And so being in that much stillness for 9 days, up at 6:15 in the morning to watch the sun rise. Every day, I couldn't wait to get up, to watch the sun set. Other people were like doing stuff and cooking, and I was like, the sun's gonna set. I was so excited about it. Yeah, Gail.
Where exactly were you?
We were on Maui, outside Lahaina, about 10 minutes, right? Directly, the unit we were so blessed to stay in belongs to the brother of our friends who met us there. And it was the last unit on the bottom floor with surround windows and open sea in all directions. It was so beautiful. And such an incredible gift. But that hunger for stillness, like I don't have to move, I can watch this movement really, really spoke to me from the first second and brought such joy. And the mind companioned that stillness. We say, oh, great, you went to Hawaii, of course. But what I want to say is, I wonder why it takes going somewhere else to allow ourselves the gift of feeling at home in our own skin and at comfort in our own presence wherever we might be. So as we prepare for meditation, do we have something leading in, or
Sure.
you all primed up?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's go.
Christopher Robin and I walked along under branches lit up by the moon, and posing our questions to Val and Eeyore as our days all passed by way too soon. Well, I've wandered much further today than I should, and I can't seem to find my way back to the wood. So help me if you can, I've got to get back to the house at Pooh Corner by 1. You'd be surprised, there's so much to be done. Count all the bees in the hive, chase all the clouds from the sky. Back to the days of Christopher Robin and Pooh.
Of the Tao of Pooh, a very simple bear who seemed always to be in the way of the flow of life, not as an obstacle, but as the path. That even when it seemed that all things were askew, somehow they were all coming together. I invite you to notice the state of your body. As you breathe, notice where there are holding on places. And imagine, if you will, that when you breathe into each of those places, there is an instantaneous opening. You breathe, and there's opening. And you breathe, and soften, and allow. The energy that moves in and through your body is like the wave-like movement. It's as though the waves and currents of pure love and life and peace are flowing in and through you, rising and receding. In those places where you're attending, where you're bringing your attention, the rising and the receding releases and dissolves whatever is holding on. I see deeply from the place of my inner wisdom that there is a perfect flow of pure life moving in and through my body and mind. And I respond by opening, softening, allowing, And the breath goes deeper. And the body becomes more penetrable. With my inner wisdom, my inner spiritual wisdom, I see that I am safe, held, enfolded in love. And as I open the rising and receding of the current flowing through me, releases me of the concern and the worry and the fear, that underlying uncertainty is suddenly washed, lifted, freed. And I am a center of peace. The light, the brilliant light of the One Presence flows and overflows me now. The radiant, brilliant currents of light fill and overflow and beam from the midst of me to fill my being and to move, blessing, offering blessing to all. Holy One, Divine Father, Mother, God, in your presence I am at peace. I am whole and complete, and all things move with your harmony and your rhythm within and without. In this realization, I feel that all is well. And from that place comes this deepest gratitude. Thank you, I say, with a humble and open heart. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is. Amen.
I'm 15 for a moment, caught in between 10 and 20, and I'm just dreaming, counting the ways to where you are. I'm 22 for a moment, she feels better than ever, and we're on fire, making our way back from Mars. 15, there's still time for you, time to buy and time to lose yourself within a morning star. I'm 33 for a moment, still the man You see, I'm of age, a kid on the way, babe, a family on my mind. I'm 45 for a moment, the seas are high, we're heading into a crisis, chasing the years of my life. 15, there's still time for you. 15, there's never a wish better than this when you've only got 100 years to live. Half time goes by, suddenly you're wise, another blink of an eye. 67 is gone, sun is moving high, we're moving on. I'm 99 for a moment, dying for just another moment, and I'm just dreaming, counting the ways to where you are. 15, I'm alright with you. 22, I feel it too. 33, you're on your way. Every day's a new day. Ooh, ooh.
Nice job, Steve. Nice. Thank you. So you're going on a trip?
Yes, I am. My three brothers, I'm 72. I've got a 67, 76, and 80.
Whoa.
All brothers. We're going to get together in our hometown of Panama City, Florida, and try to catch all the fish.
Wow. How long are you gone?
Just a week.
Just a week?
Yeah, it'll fly by, but it'll be fun to bond with those guys again.
How long has it been?
The oldest brother, the one that's 80, it's been a few years. The other ones, we see each other fairly regularly.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
it'll be a blessing.
Great. Have a wonderful, wonderful time.
Thank you.
Catch big fish. No 7-inch frying pan for you. What? Were you here this Sunday I talked about that?
No, I wasn't, but it sounds like a good subject.
Yeah, it was a guy, Nasruddin, the Persian fool, as they call him, the great teacher. He's witnessed standing fishing, but he's throwing all the big fish back. He's just keeping the little ones. And someone goes to him and says, I've been watching you and I don't understand why you're throwing all the big fish back. And he said, well, I only have a 7-inch frying pan. So,
You should have brought it with him.
yeah,
Measure.
yeah, it's about limitation of the mind. I love Wendell Berry's poetry, a man of the land and the earth. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light, and for a time I rest in the grace of the world, and I am free. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. And for a time, I rest in the grace of the world, and I am free. Such beautiful response to life on a daily basis. He knows what to do, and it seems that he does it. A place of rest. A place of rest. Rest is a Sabbath. There's a reason that on the seventh day there was rest in the creative process. It's essential for balance. And 7 is the number, if you will, of completion. 12 is the number of wholeness and fruition and totality, but 7 is a number of wholeness. And in 7, there's a kind of completion that can take place when we're in the process of this magnificent journey of life and creation and meeting the experience of being alive in the body, being alive in our minds, being alive in our bodies, being alive on the earth. To bring into a kind of serious intention that without that place, without that rest between the notes, without that period of honoring the Sabbath, not on a Sunday morning, but in yourself, there comes this sense of living as though we're in balance, but not really truly being in balance at the core of our being, not knowing what that balance really is or how it operates in us. This place of being aware of what is deeper, what is fundamental, what is always present as a kind of stillness. When you begin to go deeper in spiritual journeying, you hunger, as I said a few minutes ago, for a kind of stillness. It's like, stop the parade, I want out. Stop the circus, I want off. Stop this chaotic movement of spin, like the centrifuge spinning out the elements. And even though we don't know how to meet it, we know that we're hungry for something so elemental that without it, we just never feel like we're home or fully at center. Kay took a picture of me because I had to send pictures off to Unity Village. They're like, we'd like 7 pictures of you doing something. I'm like, well, sitting on the couch reading a book didn't sound like what they were looking for, so I asked for pictures, and I had some great pictures that you gave me and Jerry had, and the night we went out for a really lovely dinner at a fairly spectacular place in every way. I said to Kay, you gotta do a picture of me with the ocean kind of sunset-y thing going on. So I'm standing there with my back to a tree, and I look at it and I think, I don't understand how things work, but I know that it's kind of sunsetting. I know I'm standing against a tree, and there's this horizontal light beam coming from this direction right through the center of my abdomen. Like, where was that? Where was, I didn't see it then, I only saw it when we got home and I started going through pictures, but here was this beam going right through the core of me, and I thought, sometimes we really need to see a picture of the magic that's going on that we're not aware of. It was good enough that it was like I could explain it because of sun or light or because of refraction of light or there were 1,000 explanations, I'm sure. But I sent that one off to Unity Village. I thought I'd like them to have a picture of me with a light beam going through the center. But what it brought to mind was that it's only suddenly when something catches our attention that we see how much of this radiance is at work in us and through us and around us and everywhere we look. Not a magic story, just a story of. And then there was that light, and I thought, light. I'm always talking about light. I want to be open to more light. I want more clearing for light and stillness. And as I was reading a new book, 5 Invitations, it's called, The 5 Invitations by Frank Ostaseski, Discovering What Death Can Teach Us About Living Fully. The 5 invitations are very powerful, and it happens that they're not about death, they're about life. So I picked up the book and decided to spend some time studying it. I did not take it with me on the trip. No more books. I'm too busy staring at the ocean, getting still. But it starts with this little story. There's a Zen story about a monk who is vigorously sweeping the temple grounds. Another monk walks by and snips, "Too busy." The first monk replies, "You should know there is one who is not too busy." It's one of those stories that we look at. The moral of the story, says Frank, is that while the sweeping monk may have outwardly appeared to the casual observer as too busy, actively performing his daily monastic duties, inwardly he was not busy. He could recognize the quietness of his state of mind, the part of himself that was at rest in the middle of things. To the casual observer, too busy, actively performing his daily duties, but inwardly he was not busy. He could recognize the quietness of his state of mind, the part of himself that was at rest in the middle of things. The part of him that was at rest in the middle of things. So we say to be still, I need to go somewhere. I need to find a place. I need to have some experience that will give me that moment. This is a reminder story about when I am at rest in the middle. The centrifuge spins, the chaos continues, but I'm home no matter what the activity might be. A second Zen story to this one is the story of a gardener. He's a priest, and he's clearing the garden for visitors who are coming. Very important visitors are coming. He's trimming every piece of grass, and every weed is gone, and everything is perfectly attended, perfectly attended, perfectly attended. Everything is just a perfection of order. Across the fence is a monk, a little monk, an aged monk. And the monk says to to him, it looks wonderful, but if you'd pick me up and lift me across the fence, I'll help get it into its rightness of order. It's just one little thing. So the priest picks him up over the fence, and he walks over to the tree and shakes it until every available leaf has scattered in every direction all over the lawn. And the priest is like, "What's the matter with you? Why would you do this? I've spent hours creating perfection." Why would that story have impact? What does that mean? You know, you look at a story like that, it's like, what does that mean that perfection is what? Tell me. What is the perfection? Why would that be perfection? To have all of what we call perfection, control, our assessment of perfection, all in order so that the outer looks like we believe it needs to, so that life is somehow as it's supposed to be. Control. And in the eye of the beholder, and the idea that those leaves are as much a part of the perfection as was any weed or any errant blade of grass or whatever the case may be. And it's also about perfection and imperfection. It's also about learning the experience of this movement of life, even at a moment like that, as the priest then stir around and try to clean that mess up, or does he see that maybe there's no mess there at all when, yeah, it's already perfect. And does it mean that we don't do the things that we do? But then for the priest who's done all the gardening work, then there's anger and all the things that come up that are part of that resistance, if you will, to an order. And so we say no to leaves and yes to weed-free lawn. But what we're really saying no to is preference one way or the other. Preference one way or the other. Perspective one way or the other. Holding what is in a way that meets our expectation or does not. And in the teachings that come from Ostraszewski in this book and have come long before him, this particular chapter is called The Calm in the Storm. That if we can't find that calm place in the storm, that place of rest, that place of peacefulness, we're like somebody who's continually trying to stop the movement and the unfolding of life to suit the picture we're holding in our mind about what should and should not be. So a monk says to the one who's sweeping, you're doing this wrong, you're going about it all wrong, you're too busy, you're sweeping too hard, you're applying too much energy, you're not in the flow from the outside. The perspective again, the projection about what is sufficient to be an individual who supposedly is a monk practicing his traditions and his vows and his way of being. The only way you can be is to be in stillness and sweep slowly, because that would demonstrate everything is in order. Well, we can't wait for everything to be in order to find ways in which we can grant ourselves peace and rest. And it's not by going somewhere. It's not by having some privilege in one way or another. It's about honoring that Sabbath state here in the midst of our own being, in the middle of what is. So the first monk could have said to the other guy, get out of my business. What right do you have to talk to me like that? Who do you think you are? But he didn't. He just kept sweeping. Why? Because he knew where he was. He knew where he came from. He knew home. He knew what mattered. And in that moment, he was sweeping right around the center of his own being. And in the sweeping, we know what was arising were things of the mind, as they always do, things and conditions from the outside, as they always do, but a consistent sense of, I am present, I am here, it is me, I am here in the place of my belonging, the place I long for. And any of us can have that. It's not because we meditate one better than another, or because the conditions for one of us seem to be so much better than ours. Because there's always something to compare it to. What are we doing toward gaining that sense of rest? He says again, we want to spin plates, juggle balls, live two dreams at once. We confuse rest with non-productivity and laziness. But this is a different kind of rest. This is something you can't really talk about and describe in that way. Oh, I sat down, I read a book for an hour. I sat down with my computer, I sat down with my iPad, I was quiet for an hour, but not resting, not present to the stillness. I think the biggest boulder that blocks our light is the one that says, I can't do it, or I don't know how to do it, as though you could not know how to do it. It's not a studied experience. It's a reality that is always so. And the current is always rising and ebbing. Current is always moving in different wave levels and frequencies, but nonetheless present. You can't not be still. Why? Because it's your nature. This place of rest and habitation. Be still and know, we say. Be still and know. We think too many words. Just be. Just be still in that deep place. You can feel it draw you in. And that's the kind of rest we're looking for. That's what we want, not another nap. A nap is fine. I mean, naps are great. I took one every day. I'll take one today. No, it's something other than that. It's regaining the rhythm of our own heartbeat, our own central axis, the the light that's shining through your belly and your heart. A stillness. A stillness. A stillness. And the mind begins to poke into it, starts to poke in immediately to take you away from that place, because that's what the mind does. But you're going to go beneath that level. You're going to go down beneath the turbulent water. You're going to go down beneath the middle layer where the currents are moving. You're going to go down into the depth. And though things continue to move, there's a kind of stillness here. And the truth is, it becomes kind of addictive when you start to touch it. More than kind of. You can hardly resist it when it starts to be present. Why do I want that? Because on every other level of my life and being, it's essential. We were watching at the aquarium so they don't have live animals in their aquarium. They have fish and jellyfish and some, but mostly it's educational. And so they don't have, whales in captivity or penguins or whatever. But there's a big dome, and we don't know. We're going in to see what the film is about or what we can learn. Well, in that big dome, and many of you have probably experienced this, and I just never have. So huge dome, and when it comes to life, you've got the glasses things, and you're sitting, chairs go back, and so you are looking at the whole dome at once, and all of a sudden you hear a roar, and here is this huge humpback whale. Took 3 years for them to capture this film, 3 years for them to put it together. It lasts, I don't know how long it was timeless for me. And all of a sudden you are in the midst of this experience, and at one point it breaches, and there's also a baby, and it's just like, and every time it comes near you, you hear the roar of its presence, huge, 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 huge. And, and the film says basically, and then the whales do something we don't understand. And I'm like, well, what's that? And they're just there, in not moving, not rising and falling, just suspended in the water. I thought, well, it's resting, for crying out loud. It's sleeping. What do you think it's doing? What does it take after all those thousands of miles of transit and giving birth and being present in all those ways, and the food and the and I thought it's I thought they were going to say we've tested, we believe that it's sleeping, and I thought you can't miss it. It's sleeping. It's just hanging in the universe in rest, suspended by the water that holds it, allowing itself to be in perfection of nothing and everything. That's it. That's it. That's what he was writing about. That suspension, being held in the stillness of your own being, being held in rest, in the comfort of your own being held, moved by the water, while at the same time being certainly, what do we say, tuned out from every random thought, need, or essential obligation, just held like that. Can you imagine that you could rest in that way inwardly, not just in sleep? Isn't it what Wendell Berry is talking about when he allows himself to be suspended in nature, when his mind begins to unravel? Isn't it? It was in nature as a housing, but it was within him as a reality, as a rest, as a stillness. You who have labored, I will give you rest. The Christ of your being speaks the same message, the same truth that Jesus was imparting. You who have labored, come unto me, I will give you rest. Come to the center of your being. I will give you the kind of fulfilling rest that allows you to move with and through these obstacles, saying, I am here. And I am here because I choose to move myself from this to this. How long is that journey, we say? How long is that journey? Sometimes it's a lifetime before we know that we have the privilege of realizing that we are everything and that everything is us. He had heart surgery. He was recovering from heart surgery. And his friend, he's a co-founder of the Zen Hospice Project, and his friend Martha came to visit him when he was post-surgery and in early recovery. He said she would come to my home to support me in the practice of meditation. So here's a guy who's been a meditation teacher forever. He had heart surgery. He can't find his center. He's too afraid. He's too upset. He's too disturbed. So she comes to get him centered in his meditation. She would end our sessions with a lovely ritual, one which she had been teaching for years to people in prison. She invited me to place my right hand on my heart and my left on my belly and repeat the phrases, I am here now. We are here now. I am here now. We are here now. I am here now. We are here now. I am here now. Where, we say, where to go? Here and now, he said, is the only place of rest. I am here now in my only place of rest. I am here now. We learn over time is that all the things we thought would satisfy us or give us what we wanted are temporary. That which stays with us forever is that which has always been. And that which has always been, as he illustrates in this wonderful book, is present with us in life, in birth, in death, and in all the steps between. I can rest. How is it I can rest? I can rest because it's the reality of that which I am. Come unto me. I will give you rest. We'll do a little more with this next week. And the new Michael Singer book is available for those of you who are Michael Singer fans. One of my favorites. And I just took it out of the package last night, glanced at the cover and went, oh yeah, Michael Singer. None of the teachings mean anything if we can't take them into that place of rest. The words come and they go. They come and they go. Say, give me rest. Grant me peace. Universe says, yes, it's already done. So, for today, if you have donations this morning, tithes, love offerings, we have a dish we have our beautiful plate by the doors exiting, and you can give by a variety of ways in the real mail, online, or on Sunday morning in person, or any other way. You can drop it through our mail slot. However you choose to give, please know that our ministry exists because of the donors and those who practice these principles of abundance. In giving, we receive. In giving more, what would the promise be? We receive less, or we don't receive? It's a circle, it's a law, it's life. It's the way it fulfills itself abundantly as abundance in monetary need, in need for whatever the case may be. I'm appalled to see that baby formula is in shortage right now. People can't get formula for the babies, but people are getting formula for the babies and moving into fear states about lack, about lack, about lack, about lack, about lack, about lack, is just being drummed into us at every turn. There's a lack of this, there's a lack of that, there's a lack of this, there's a lack of that, There's not enough of this. What are we going to do about that? I know that when we are in agreement with the principles of abundance and the laws of abundance, we have reestablished ourselves in the flow, and in that perfect flow, all things, as we say, work together for good. Things begin to move in ways that didn't seem possible or didn't seem apparent because we become magnetic for an opening to the resource we need to do that which needs to be done. A lack of this, not enough of that, not enough, not enough, not enough, not enough, not enough. We've heard so much about shortage, and we're not hearing nearly enough about abundance. And we're practicing as though shortage is our birthright rather than inheriting the realization that abundance is the truth of our life. And if we're unwilling to move into the flow, the free flow of the experience of abundance, we're putting up all kinds of blocks that we can simply move through when we change the direction of our consciousness. And so I invite those online, those who are present, those who are not present, and I hope to see in these seats very soon. I invite us to begin to get back to baseline principle and begin to practice it in the way we live our lives. We are not governed by shortage. We are governed by the law of divine abundance. And so we give joyfully and easily. We say that when we bless our gifts. I give joyfully and easily, for God is my source. And what? Abundance is my nature. Let's prove it. Let's prove it. Let's prove it here in our ministry. Let's prove it in our lives. God said something about put me to the test and I'll open the windows of heaven to pour down blessings upon you. We have enough. We have enough. We have enough energy to do the work that needs to be done. We have enough of everything we need to thrive. And this is our time for thriving. So, having done that little bit of work, yes, ma'am. Yeah, really. I just, it's just everywhere we turn, there's not enough, not enough, not enough, not enough. Well, there is more than enough. And if we have to make baby formula, we'll get to work and make baby formula. Just tell me how to do it. So, having said that, we bless ourselves and we bless everyone and everything. There's nothing we hold out of our prayers and blessings. As we say, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. The world consciousness does not win over one presence and one power focalized as the one reality and truth of our lives. The world does not defeat divine awareness. It is not a possibility. And so I see you in your empowered nature. I see you taking time to rest so that you have the energy and the wherewithal to experience the blessings of bliss and calm and peace in your life each day. I see you standing in that fullness of life in every way, both by choice and by virtue of your divine nature. It is so. It is always so. So I'll see you soon. And thanks for being here this morning. Thank you for being here. We love you. We bless you, and we truly appreciate you. Let's sing. You sing. Yeah.